first let's talk about how to read the display. In the top right hand corner of the watch there's this indicator here which displays what's currently on in the watch, including the snooze alarm, any of the regular alarms, the hourly signal, or the automatic backlight. And if one of those things is turned on, you can tell by it being lit up gray in that area. Moving on, we have this right dial here which displays the world time, the time that it is in the city that you can specify in the world time mode. Also on the left dial here, it displays both the solar battery's charge, the various modes of the watch, and also the atomic timekeeping settings. And finally, the two different time zones that you can display on the home screen. And let's go ahead and go through those. You can toggle which time zones are displayed on the home screen by hitting the bottom right button. You can see currently we have it displaying the date in T1, and you can change it so that it is the time in T1 by hitting the bottom right button. Hitting it again will then move to T2, the second time zone you can display, and you can change what time zone this is in another set of settings, which I will go over later. As you can see, this displays the time in that time zone and also briefly flashes the date, all while keeping the regular analog display displaying your current T1 time at all times. Okay, let's go ahead and cycle through the watch's modes. You can do this by pressing the bottom left-hand button. The first mode is world time. You can change which time zone is displayed by using the bottom right-hand button. As you can see, as you go through, the right dial follows around to display whatever time you have on there, and it will do so in whatever mode you're in. The next, also you can toggle daylight savings time by holding down the upper right-hand button. Upper left-hand button. Go ahead and put that back. Displays here whether or not daylight savings time is on or off. The next mode is the stopwatch. Pretty standard, bottom right-hand button to start. Hit it again to stop, and reset is the top left-hand button. It also has a split feature. Shows you if the split is on using this indicator right here. And then you can split release. Next mode is the countdown timer. You can adjust what time the countdown timer is set to by holding the upper left-hand button. You can change the amount of minutes it will go for, from 1 minute all the way up to 60 minutes by using the buttons on the right side. Unfortunately, you can't adjust how many seconds the the timer goes for, but you can, by pressing the bottom left-hand button, turn the repeat on and off. To start to finish adjusting the time and the repeat, you hit the top left-hand button, and to start the timer, use the bottom right-hand button, and you can stop and reset just like on the stopwatch. Next mode is the alarms. As you can see, there are 4 different alarms: a snooze alarm, an hourly signal, and then you can cycle back through. So to adjust one of these, you hold the upper left-hand button, go up and down with the right hand buttons. Hit the bottom left hand button to change between adjusting the hours and adjusting the minutes. And then hit the top left hand button when you're done. You can toggle whether or not an alarm is on by using the top right hand button. I'm sorry, that is the top left hand button, and hitting it just once. As you can see, it displays whether or not it is on in the upper right hand indicator. And then hitting once more returns to the home setting. Another interesting feature the watch has is that in the world time mode, you can actually swap your home time with your world time very easily by holding the top two buttons. Then when the watch is done transferring, you can go back to your home position. And now both the analog and digital displays will display your world time, while your right hand dial will swap to display what was your home time. Next we'll go through the watch's settings and also how to set the watch's time manually. To access this feature, you hit the top left hand button and hold it until you hear a second beep. Okay. First thing you can adjust is your home city. You can change this by using the two right hand buttons. Hitting the bottom left hand button goes to the next setting, which is the automatic and manual daylight savings time settings. Automatic has it so that it will change when it does the atomic timekeeping searches, and of course you can just change it manually as well. Hitting it again, you can change between 12 and 24-hour format. And then hitting it again will go to manual time adjustment. You use the right hand buttons to change all of these, including the seconds, the hour, minutes, year, date, and so on. Next you have the power saving function, which has to do with when the watch is in a dark state for an extended amount of time. It will actually disable some of the digital functions in order to save battery, and then it will re-enable them when it comes into a lighter room or exposed to some sort of light. Alright, the next set of functions, or one function, can be accessed by hitting the top left button once more. This is the world time, the second time zone, or T2, and you can change this by using the right hand buttons as well. Pressing the top left hand button again will return you to normal timekeeping. Another interesting feature the watch has is automatic illumination. You can turn this on by holding the upper right hand button, the button you normally use to turn on the backlight. Go ahead and hold it until the indicator in the top right indicates that automatic illumination has been turned on. The way it works is that if you're in a place that's sufficiently dark and you have it on your wrist and you turn it at a 45-degree angle, the illumination will automatically turn on. You don't have to touch it at all. The way atomic timekeeping is set up on the watch is that the watch will automatically do up to 6 different searches every morning to try to synchronize with the atomic clock. And these searches are performed from midnight until 5 a.m. and they stop as soon as a successful search is made. Now the way you can tell when your last successful search was made is by hitting the top left-hand button. Hitting it once will display the date and then the time of the last successful search. Hit it again to go back to the main display. However, you can also do a manual search by holding this button until you hear the first beep. Now, depending on how strong the signal is, the left-hand indicator will display different settings. And then, if a successful search is made, it will display the time that it was made and then return to the normal display. And if not, it will display an error message. You can cancel this at any time by hitting the top left-hand button.